Hello everyone. In this topic, we'll be seeing about hypolipidemic drugs. So the contents are introduction, classification, and in classification, we'll be seeing about statins and nicotinic acid and some important 2 mark questions and summary. So for introduction, we are seeing here the normal lipid profile of an individual. We should know for whom we are administering these hypolipidemic drugs. So the total cholesterol is less than 200. Just remember that's the first one. And half of 200 is 100. For LDL cholesterol, it's less than 100. So cholesterol less than 200 and LDL less than 100. So in between 200 and 100, what we have, it's 150. So triglycerides is less than 150. And for HDL, just remember 60 mg per dl. Moving on to the classification, we have here 5 categories in this hypolipidemic drugs. The first one is HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors, which is otherwise called as statins. And the second one is lipolysis and triglyceride synthesis inhibitor. Third one is fibrates, or otherwise called lipoprotein lipase activators. Fourth one is bile acid sequestrants, and fifth one is steroid absorption inhibitors. So by the name itself, you can just understand the mechanism of action. First one is HMG-CoA reductase. So it is going and inhibiting some enzyme. And second one, lipolysis and triglyceride synthesis inhibitor. Something it is doing to prevent the formation of fatty acids. So second one. Third one is fibrates. Fibrates is lipoprotein lipase activators. So it is stimulating an enzyme. And fourth is bile acid sequestrants. It goes and binds with bile acids. And fifth one is steroid absorption inhibitors. So it causes some interruption in the cholesterol absorption. So note the drugs lovastatin, simvastatin, pravastatin in the first category. And second one is nicotinic acid. In the third box, you have chlorofibrate, gemfibrozil, and bezafibrate. And bile acid binding resins include cholestyramine and cholestyramine, and the one is ezetimibe. So whatever category in this classification is asked, you can just remember a picture so that you can bring out any mechanism of action. So this is the picture. The first one is HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors, and the second one is niacin, the site of action of niacin, and the third one is ezetimibe. Fourth one is bile acid binding resins, and fifth one is gemfibrozil. So just remember this picture. What we saw at first was HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. We'll be seeing about statins in detail in the coming slides. And second one is niacin. So if you see here, niacin blocks the transport of cholesterol to VLDL, thereby reducing the fatty acids. And the third one, what we saw was fibrates, so gemfibrozil. So gemfibrozil causes stimulation of lipoprotein lipase, and more amount of fatty acids are metabolized. Fourth one is ezetimibe. So just see there, the top left corner is ezetimibe. So what ezetimibe does is it blocks the cholesterol absorption. And fifth one is bile acid binding resins. So the name itself says that it binds to the bile acids and thus interrupts the intrahepatic circulation of bile acids. So statins the first category, and it's the most important category in this classification. It's a 5-mark question. So let's see it in detail. So HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are always called statins. So the mechanism of action is HMG-CoA is converted to mevalonate and it becomes cholesterol. So if you remember, this is the third step in the cholesterol biosynthesis which you studied in your biochemistry. And the enzyme which mediates this third step is HMG-CoA reductase, and this step is the rate limiting step of biosynthesis. So what statin does is statins competitively inhibit HMG-CoA reductase enzyme, thereby interrupting the formation of cholesterol. So you have to just remember one thing: when cholesterol synthesis is somehow interrupted, the number of LDL receptors in the liver increases. So what happens when receptors for LDL increases? More amount of LDL is taken and it is metabolized. Ultimately, for what we are giving the drugs, for giving a hypolipidemic effect, and it is achieved. So statins are also called as the most effective drugs in this classification. So we are seeing the adverse effects here. The adverse effects, just remember HMG. H is hepatotoxicity and headache, M is myopathy, and G is gastrointestinal. Uses. So these are the uses. You can write it on your own. Just you know that it's a hypolipidemic drug, and you can write all the conditions where we should achieve a hypolipidemic effect. So first one is primary hypolipidemia. Second one is secondary hypercholesterolemia. Third is it can be used as a secondary prophylaxis in MI. Fourth one is atherosclerotic plaque stability. Fifth is antioxidant. Sixth is anti-inflammatory. Seventh is dyslipidemia and diabetes. So if a diabetic patient has dyslipidemia, what is the first choice of drugs? Yes, statins is the first choice. So we have completed an important category in this classification, and next another important category in this is niacin. So niacin is otherwise called as nicotinic acid. Don't confuse with the nicotine what we know about in tobacco, all those things. So that is nicotine, TINE. So this is niacin, nicotinic acid. So pharmacological actions, if you see here, it reduces everything except HDL. HDL is increased, other things are decreased. So what is HDL? Yes, we have studied in biochemistry about all the reverse cholesterol transport mechanisms. So HDL, it's a good cholesterol. So what hyperlipidemic drug should do is it should reduce the bad cholesterol. So just remember, this is the short way to remember the pharmacological action. Everything is decreased. Lipid, plasma lipids, triglycerides, VLDL, LDL, IDL, fatty acids, total cholesterol, everything is decreased. HDL is increased, and intracellular lipolysis is inhibited. So if you want to say about the pharmacological actions of nicotinic acid, just remember this. So mechanism of action, niacin. What niacin does is it binds to what? So it should bind to a receptor. So niacin binds to niacin receptor. So where is the niacin receptor situated? So what topic we are talking about is hypolipidemic drugs. So what cell? So what cell should it be? Yes, it's an adipocyte. So in the adipocyte cell, there is a membrane. So in the membrane, we have a G protein coupled receptor, and in that receptor, niacin binds. And what it causes is it causes CAMP formation. So it causes a hormone stimulated CAMP formation, thus causing inhibition of lipolysis in adipose tissue. So what it does is it stimulates adenylyl cyclase enzyme in adipocyte cell. So it is not necessary to go much deeper in this mechanism of action. Just remember the small flow chart. And moving on to the adverse effects, what we see here is first one is large doses are poorly tolerated. And from second point to seventh point, just remember four systems. For second point is skin, third and fourth dyspepsia, vomiting, diarrhea is GIT, and fifth is liver, sixth and seventh are metabolic stage. So second one, what we see here is cutaneous vasodilation. 3, 4 is GIT symptoms, 5 is liver symptoms, 6 and 7th is diabetes and gout. You can remember it easily. So can these adverse effects get minimized? Yeah, it can be minimized in these 4 ways. So first one is we can take along with meals. Low dose can be taken along with meals. And second one is sustained release tablets. So sustained release tablets can subdue flushing. And we have here two drugs, aspirin and laropiprant. So aspirin, what aspirin does is it reduces flushing by inhibiting prostaglandin synthesis. And laropiprant is a specific anti-flushing drug. To prevent that cutaneous vasodilation, laropiprant can be given. It's a prostanoid receptor inhibitor. So what are the contraindications and interactions? We didn't mention about contraindication in statins. There's nothing specific about statins contraindication. One thing what you have to remember is for both statins and niacin, pregnancy is the contraindication. So niacin, pregnancy is contraindication, and statins also, and interaction is nicotine plus antihypertensive causes postural hypotension, and nicotine and statins cause myopathy. Uses. So yeah, if you understand that concept, you can write all the uses. So first one is hypertriglyceridemia, you can write, and the same thing. If you understand that, you can write on your own all these uses. So it is used to reduce LDL, it is used to raise HDL, and something specific should be present for any drug. So for this niacin, it is specifically used to control pancreatitis associated with hypertriglyceridemia. And so is there any derivative from niacin? Yes, there is a derivative. We have acipimox, it's a drug. It is better tolerated, but it has a weaker effect on plasma lipids. So just know the name, acipimox. So these are the uses. So we have completed the two important categories in this classification. Just remember, statins and nicotinic acid you should cover in this topic. And there are some 2 more questions asked in this topic. Name some adverse reactions of fibrates. So we have epigastric distress, loose motions, eosinophilia, skin rashes, impotence, blurred vision, body ache, everything. Second one is name some bile acid sequestrants. As we saw, the fourth category of drug, the bile acid binding resins are cholestyramine, cholestypol, and cholestyvalum. Cholestyvalum is not in the classification. Just remember these three drugs. So moving on to the summary, we are reaching at the end of the video. So statins, we saw about statins. Statins are HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors, and the drugs are lovastatin, simvastatin, atorvastatin, rosuvastatin. If you can't remember all those prefixes, just remember Adarva, Love, Simran. So Adarva, atorvastatin, Love, lovastatin, and simvastatin. And adverse effects is HMG, H is headache, H is headache and hepatotoxicity. M is myopathy, and G is gastrointestinal. So about statins and nicotinic acid, what we saw was everything is decreased, HDL is increased, and adverse effect, just remember the 5 systems: skin, GIT, liver, glucose, and uric acid. So skin, what we saw was cutaneous vasodilatation, and GIT what we saw was dyspepsia, nausea, vomiting, all those symptoms, and liver, what we saw was liver dysfunction and jaundice. In glucose, we saw diabetes mellitus, and in uric acid, we saw hyperuricemia and gout. Thank you for your patient listening.